anatomical position. This heading point of pars petrosa must face always anteriorly and slightly medially. Meanwhile, processus zygomaticus must face always toward. Meanwhile, processus mastoideus must face always anteriorly and downward. Let's see parts. Pars squamosa, pars tympanica, pars mastoidea, and I hold pars petrosa. This very big part. So let's scan. Here we can see processus zygomaticus, tuberculum articulare, porus acousticus externus, and meatus acousticus externus. Meanwhile, porus acousticus internus and meatus acousticus internus as well. Next medium. Here, fossa mandibularis, this big pit. Next, between pars tympanica and pars mastoidea, we can see split, fissure, fissura tympano-mastoidea, this one. The spine, spina suprameatum, this. And if technique permit to fix, to etch some very important formation. At this part, you can see two fissure. And once more, if techniques allows us to see it, you can see a small plate between two fissures, namely this superior fissure, it will be fissura petrosquamosa, and it proceeds backwards. Look, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Fissura petrosquamosa. Meanwhile, inferior fissure will be fissura petrotympanica. Next. Processus mastoideus, as is stated above, incisura mastoidea, foramen mastoideum. Processus mastoideus of temporal bone inside of itself has cellule mastoidea and antrum mastoideum. Don't confuse, please, incisura mastoidea with sulcus arteria occipitalis. This one, sulcus arteria occipitalis. Next, look at this foramen. It will be foramen stylomastoideum. Why? Because let's go. Because at this place you can see broken, not broken angel, but broken former processus. Processus styloideus. This one, processus styloideus, this one. And between processus styloideus and processus mastoideus, we can see orifice foramen stylomastoideum, and this one it will be. Next, slightly medially, we can see fossa jugularis. Fossa jugularis, together with the incisura of the same name of temporal bone, together with the incisura jugularis of occipital bone, form eventually foramen jugulare. Don't forget, I will ask you next time, also sulcus sinus petrosus inferioris. And foramen lacerum also, never forget. Foramen lacerum. And also sulcus sinus sigmoideus. This one. Sulcus sinus sigmoideus. It has an interrelationship with the canalis mastoideus. Actually, foramen mastoideum proceeds further into the canalis mastoideus, and this one small part of sulcus sinus sigmoideus. Next, let's see the internal aspect. Once more, I remind you, this protrusion, like mountains, are named juga cerebralia. Meanwhile, these impressiones digitate. This groove, arterial groove, is named sulcus arteria meningea media. It is remarkable that it starts from foramen spinosum. This artery penetrates this cavity through the foramen spinosum, and this is nothing else but sulcus arteria meningea media. Next media. We can see very well eminentia arcuata here and here. Backwards to the eminentia arcuata, we can see tegmen tympani. Anteriorly, impressio trigeminalis. And we can see here canalis caroticus. Internal orifice and external orifice. At the bottom of fossa jugularis, we can see canaliculus mastoideus. Meanwhile, at the bottom of canalis caroticus, we can see canaliculi carotico-tympanici, place, so to say, lodge for arteries, veins, and nerves of the same name, to supply to cavum tympani. Parallel-wise to the canalis caroticus, we can see canalis musculotubarius. If techniques permit, we can see that this canalis musculotubarius is divided by small plate or cell plate into two parts. First part will be canalis canaliculus musculotensoris tympani and semicanalis musculotensoris tympani and semicanalis tubae auditive. It's formed by these small plate, tiny plate. Next, let's see this medial aspect. Once more, porus and meatus acousticus internus. If we put perpendicular line and go to impasse, we can see apertura externa canaliculi cochlea. It is noticeable that between canalis caroticus and apertura externa canaliculi cochlea we can see fossula petrosa, filled by lung. But nevertheless, however it may be, next, look, eminentia arcuata, downwards to the eminentia arcuata, we can see fossa subarcuata, and at the bottom of fossa subarcuata, we can see apertura externa aqueductus vestibuli. Next, my dear. The presence.
So this here and see.
The presence of sulcus sinus petrosis superioris must suggest us to find sulcus sinus petrosi superioris.
temporal ball.
Petrosi superioris, petrosi inferioris.
Yes.
Понятно, понятно. Very good.
Pars
Very
petrosa.
well, very well.
Please see and hear. Please.
And what? And actually, my dear, and it's desirable to know that at the bottom of fossula petrosa,
Pars petrosa.
canaliculus tympanicus
Or
starts.
pyramis.
It will be of use for
Pars
the
famosa.
further times.
Is the squadra
That's that.
temporalis and
Finita la
processus
commedia.
geomatici.